Hey everyone, I'm Dina. I hope you're able to hear me. I've got everything I think set up, so let me know if you can't hear me and I'll figure that out. But hi, I'm Dina. I'm the owner of Artistic Creations by Dina. I do YouTube videos showing you how to create jewelry. And I also do lives where I kind of go through things and it's showing commercials. I thought that was not supposed to happen. All right, moving on. I'm trying to get it to where it's not showing commercials. So if it shows commercials, I'm sorry. I'm still working on the settings, try to figure out how to get that not to do that. But so I do lives, and in my lives, I talk about what I've done over the last couple of weeks. Typically, last couple of weeks. This particular month, it's actually the last month, due to some issues that we'll kind of go over a little bit here in a little bit. And then we also talk about what's coming up, and what I plan on doing as far as videos are concerned, and things that I have coming up personally, things like that, if anything like that happens. And then we design and create together. So usually my first videos of the month are, or the first lives of the month, excuse me. I'm getting my notes up in front of me so I don't forget something. But typically the first lives that I have in the month are ones that I have as an actual tutorial. So today is going to be kind of a hybrid of a tutorial and a live event where we just kind of design and create, because 2 weeks ago I was trying to do this particular video 2 weeks ago, or this particular live, excuse me, 2 weeks ago. So that unfortunately was one of those things. Here, I can skip that. And then that way, hopefully that'll catch up in a second. That was one of those things that just, family emergencies happen and I had to cancel at the last minute. So we're going to do basically what I was going to do 2 weeks ago today. So we'll go through that here in a little bit too. So let me make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I'm also allowing everybody else to come in and say hi. So if you're here, say hi. I like to know who you are, where you're coming from, if it's first time here, if you've seen me before, things like that. Let's see. So for the lives, yeah, I've already talked about that. So this live's going to be a little bit different. So I'm not sure how many I have at the moment. Let me see if I can figure that out. I've got a couple. There's about 4 of y'all here. So what I am doing different this time is that I am giving away $25 to use in my Etsy shop. It will be a coupon code that you can use. It's not going to expire. It's only going to be valid for a one-time use only. And you can use it pretty much on anything that's in my Etsy shop. You can use it on my jewelry if you like a piece that you've really, really liked and you just didn't, either you don't get that specific box of whatever, whatever it is, like the Bargain Bee box, or if you don't get the Gemstone Orphanage one, but you really liked that project that I made, then, you could pick up that if you wanted to. You can use it on the collections that I have, which more on the collections here in a little bit. You can use it on any of the kits that I have, which I have a small amount of kits. I think there's 2, maybe 3 available in my Etsy shop right now. But anyways, you've got $25 if you win that. So to be signed up for that, make sure to type in #unwind. So let me actually do that here. So that way, and I'm looking around in weird places because my setup, I just don't have a whole lot of room on my desk. #unwind to be entered in the drawing. There we go. Okay, that should show up now for you. So make sure to put #unwind in the comments and everything, and then that way you'll be signed up to be eligible for that. So like I said earlier, I was trying to get the commercials not to pop up. So if you're not able to actually say anything in the chat, it may be because I may have some settings still set up to where you can't do that. But I have the settings set up in the past where you had to be a subscriber for an hour. So if that's still the case, stick with me. in about an hour or so, subscribe now basically, and then stick with me. And in about an hour, you'll be able to put in hashtag unwind and then be entered into the drawing. So if that's an issue, if that's what's going on, then that's probably what it is. If you're watching it on the rerun, unfortunately, this is a live only type of giveaway, so you would have to be here for the live in order to be entered in for the giveaway. So we'll go into more detail on how that all goes on here in a little while. The other thing is that in my Etsy shop, I used to do just the United States shipping. I've now expanded it out to Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. So I'm kind of giving this a little bit of a test, as if you want to call it that, to see if that helps and get more people interested and see if more people are interested in those countries, basically. So I may end up adding a couple of countries here and there, depending on what's going on and any other ideas that pop up, or if somebody says, hey, I'm from Germany, I like your stuff, I might go ahead and add Germany to it. So we'll go from there. But that is one thing that I've added on to my Etsy shop. Going through my list real quick. All right, so first thing that we usually talk about are the videos that I've made over the last couple of weeks. And like I said, this is actually the last month of videos because 2 weeks ago, my family had a family emergency, and so I had to cancel the last live. The 2 weeks prior to that, my daughter and I went to tour a college on my day off, so I was not able to do a live then, and which she really likes that college, so we're hoping that she'll be able to get into that. But, we still have another year before she starts applying for colleges, so we're almost there, but we're touring. We're trying to get some ideas. And then 2 weeks prior to that was July 2nd, I believe. I think it was July 2nd. So it was that first Thursday in July. And that was the last live that I had outside of the Gemstone Orphanage live. So that was the next thing that we did after that. So it was the 250th birthday celebration. And it was an event that I coordinated with Gemstone Orphanage and also with Becky and Jenny Live, or Becky and Jenny Beading together. Excuse me, I'll just say everybody right eventually. Colleen Marine Designs, and then Miss Chrissy as well. So from Chrissy. So that was so much fun. It was so much fun to get together and to know, to see everybody and to be able to do a live like that. That was a whole lot of fun. I was so nervous during that live because I had so many other people to talk to, and it wasn't just me talking to a faceless camera. So, but I was quite nervous during that live, so it was kind of neat. So, but anyways, hey Don, I just moved my stuff out of the way. I realized that I had my notes in the way of the comments and I couldn't see anybody. So hey Don, how you doing? And then hi Katie. So Don, if you want to be entered into the drawing, I am doing a $25 giveaway to my Etsy shop. So just type in hashtag unwind, or for those of us in our almost 50s, that's usually the # unwind. But anyways, one or the other, and then you'll be entered into the drawing, and we'll make a drawing at the end of the live. So the next thing I ended up doing was the Sunset Fiesta designer collection. That one was a project where I made a pair of earrings, and I'll show all of these except for those earrings. Those are actually kind of lost in my room somewhere, which is really, really bad. My room is a mess at the moment, so it's probably a good thing that I don't have family at the house right now because they, mom or dad or Katie can't get around anywhere. So this room is a mess. I actually cleaned up the bed over here to make it look like it's nice at the moment right before the live. So I need time to clean up the room. So those earrings are around here somewhere. So I will find them. And then it's, one of those things that I'll show those is whenever I get to the point where I found them. And then I did a video for Gemstone Orphanage, the Prisma earrings, and that was the Indonesian and the peacock inspired Doorstep Baby subscription from 2 months ago. I just got my new subscription, which is the Amazonite subscription box. I just got that in this last week, and I haven't had a chance to work on any videos for that, but I do have those planned. And then the next video that came out was the July Bargain Bee Box Rainforest Relics unboxings. That one, I did the unboxing, plus I did a jewelry set, the necklace, bracelet, and earrings. We'll see those in a minute. And then the next one was the July Sam's Bead Box, the Carmen's Heart, and that was the unboxing with the components. And then from that components in that video was the ideas of what I'm going to make today. So we'll go through that in just a minute. I'll show you all of those. Last thing that we're going to talk about before we start looking at the jewelry and start creating what is that my next Creative Color Challenge goes live on the 15th, which is Saturday. So if you're not familiar with the Creative Color Challenge, I'll go through it really quickly. It is where I put up a poll, a YouTube poll, and it has 2 pictures of a palette card and jewelry and or jewelry making supplies, beads and gemstones and all that other good stuff that goes along with that palette card. And I put 2 of those up on a poll, and then you vote to see which one you would rather prefer first, or rather prefer to see a video from first. So I always will create a tutorial out of at least one tutorial out of each collection. So you'll see at least one tutorial from each one of those. And then the winning collection will actually get a second tutorial, and sometimes even more, just depending on whatever time I have that's going on at that particular point in time. Or sometimes we'll work on a project during the lives or things like that too. So that's going up. So we'll see the unboxing. The collections will go live on Saturday as well. So that's a little bit different than what I've done in the past as well. So I'll have the collections available. So if you go and you watch the unboxing and you're like, I really, really, really like the Rustic Retreat is one of them. And then the other one is called Midnight Tide. So if you really, really like Rustic Retreat, then you can go to my Etsy shop and go ahead and purchase it, and then vote for that one also. And then eventually you'll either see one or more videos depending on what wins. So it's one of those things. So I'm trying something different. And oh, you're back, Yogi. I just saw that. I wasn't quite sure what BRB meant. I'm so horrible on like the texting stuff and things like that, the acronyms and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that means be right back. Got it. That's funny. Anyways, so that goes live on Saturday. I ended up doing this as a every other month type thing instead of a every month event, because it was becoming too much time just on the Creative Color Challenge. And I felt like it was getting to that point where that's all I was doing every month, was just getting together the challenge, because I really am getting together 2 completely different collections every single month, and plus working an average of 42 hours a week at my primary job and stuff like that. It was trying to be a mom outside of that too. It was a lot of work. So I decided to go ahead and start doing this as an every other month, so I can produce more of a quality type product rather than the quantity of my videos and stuff like that. If you've been with me long enough, you know that I really prefer to have a quality product rather than 15 not so great looking videos. I'd rather have one really nice video every month if I needed to. So that's the main reason why I started doing it every other month instead. So we'll end up doing it August, and then the next one will be in October, and then we'll do the last one for the year in December. And depending on how everything's going, by December, I'll be able to tell you if this is going to continue on. I started doing this in January, so I wanted to do this for a year to see how it was going to work. But we'll see if this is going to continue or not, because like I said, it does take up a lot of time. And so yeah, it's one of those things. So that is what that is. Recorded videos. I have half of the August Bargain Bee Box recording done. I've got the unboxing portion of it done. I just need to work on the projects. and I'll show you a sneak peek of the projects here. I actually talked about one of the projects in the Danielle's, oh, what does she call it? Seed Bead Saturday last weekend. I talked about one of the projects there, and I sent a picture to Becky and Jenny because they were asking about it too, and Colleen, actually, I sent her one too, and they're all like, okay, this is cool, make a video on it. So that's going to be part of it. And then I also am planning on doing a pair of earrings and a bracelet, and I'll show you all that in just a minute. And then, like I said earlier, I did get the Gemstone Orphanage box, so I plan on doing videos for that. And then also I got Sam's bead box, the Mojave Desert. So I plan on doing videos for that. And then, of course, the Creative Color Challenge videos as well. So personal things, like I said earlier, family emergency. We don't know the outcome of all of that just yet. And I'm not going to say much about it because I don't know how much my family really wants to talk about it at the moment. So I'm not going to say much about it other than if y'all do say prayers, that would be very much appreciated because we don't know what the outcome is. It'll be a couple of weeks before we do. So just say some prayers for that. So we really appreciate that if you would. Also in the pharmacy, for those that don't know, I am a pharmacist. I work in retail pharmacy. I've been in retail pharmacy for almost 29 years now, almost 30 years. And in various positions and everything. I'm currently a pharmacy manager, so I am a pharmacist and I work as a pharmacy manager. And the company that I work for, that I try not to say on live, which I've messed up a couple of times and said a couple of times. So please don't judge me if you know where I work, because some people don't like that particular place, and then other people don't like other places and love the place that I work. So anyways, moving on, we're going through a lot of changes right now, company-wise, and a lot of it is store. The whole store is going through changes. It's not just the pharmacy. But so a lot of the pharmacists, a lot of the pharmacy managers, the pharmacy operations managers, and the store managers were all a little stressed at the moment, trying to get things done, trying to get things looking the way that the company wants us to look like. There's like these whole long packets of things that we need to do. There's things that me as a pharmacy manager, I have to be able to know how to do, know how to look up. And a lot of the stuff I don't know how to do. I don't know how to look up. It's something that's still pretty new to me. And so it's kind of stressing me out a little bit. So hopefully making jewelry will help with all of that. And at least that's the whole reason why I started doing all of this, is to help with the stress of that job. So I'll be making probably a lot of jewelry over the next couple of months. But anyways, so just, some extra prayers for that too, if you don't mind. That will help with everybody involved, because it's not just my store, it's the whole company. And, we've got, I think, 8,000 stores, something like that. So it's everybody that's all stressed out right now. And we're all trying to, keep our jobs and, keep the company going is the big thing. So it's been around for well over 100 years. I think we hit 125 actually this year. I think it was the 125th birthday of this company. Anyways, but so yeah, so we've been around for a long time. So we want to stay around for a long time too. So it's, one of those things. So that's pharmacy world for me. The other thing about pharmacy world is I really don't talk about pharmacy stuff other than just like the stresses and stuff like that that are going on at work. I actually I don't recommend anything. I don't do anything pharmacy wise. So if anybody's watching from the company that I work for, I don't actually be a pharmacist on here. So just FYI, just in case. So other than that, that is pretty much what I had on my notes to talk about. So let me get my camera down to my phone so you can see what's on my mat. There we go. A big mess. All right, so this is all stuff that we're going to work on here in a little bit. But this was the earring that I made during the Gemstone Orphanage. That was the live that we did on July 4th. So this was fun. I really liked this one. And of course, I still only have just the one earring made. I haven't made the other earring yet. So hopefully, at the end of this, if we have time and everything, hopefully I'll have time to start working on this to finish out that second earring. And then this was the Prisma earrings that I made for Gemstone Orphanage, the Indonesian peacock conversion. So we have the large rondelle down here, and it's attached by some chain that I got from, I actually used this chain from my stash. The kit actually does come with chain, but I decided to use the stainless chain from my stash and everything, and then the drops, and then the ear wires, I believe, came in the little sister bag. So those are the earrings that I made. I did not make a video of this just yet because I'm still trying to work on it. I made a bangle doing peyote with a twist is what this is called. It looks like it's crocheted, which I do crochet. I've crocheted for well much longer than I've actually beaded. Started bead weaving basically in 2017. It was back when I really started doing that. But crocheting I've been doing since I was around 7 years old. So it's been 40 years plus since I've been crocheting. So this looks like bead crochet, but it's not. It's something completely different. Hi, Teresa. How are you today? Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to put, what is it? Hashtag Unwind, and to be entered into a $25 giveaway at the end of the live. You'll be able to use the $25 in my Etsy shop. So don't forget to put hashtag Unwind if you like to. So this is something that I'm trying to get perfected, and it uses actually the rondelles that came in the Indonesian kit, the Gemstone Orphanage Indonesian kit. And then these were a set of seed beads that I got from Beads of the Month, because I'm getting the seed beads from Beads of the Month now. So, and it just went perfect with this. But this is peyote with a twist, and adding the rondelles in there as well. So I'm trying to perfect this a little bit, because the connection point, which now I don't even know where it's at. It's, yeah, right here. There we go. So no, that's not the connection point. Anyways, the connection point just was a little wonky. It didn't quite go together just perfectly. But now that I can't even tell where the connection point is, I might just go ahead and do another one like this and just say, here you go. But it's a bangle. It's one of those that you just put over your wrist like that. So I'm planning on making a video for that. I might try to do a video with this month's Gemstone Orphanage box. I might try to do that. And then the next video that I did was the bargain bead box, and this was the necklace that I made out of it. So I did the Jenny Bale, where we use the sea beads and use a different bead to kind of go through with the wire and everything. And I was excited because I could never get the bale to work. I had tried it on many other things before, and I can never get mine to work right. And so during the live, when we had the 250th live on July 4th, I was actually watching her and doing her bale. I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to actually watch what she's doing so I can see what it is. And then this was like basically my first attempt at doing it, other than I did, well, I guess second attempt. I did one attempt here. Hi, Ronnie. How are you? Thanks for entering. So this was actually my second attempt, because I needed to come figure out the counts of it and everything. But after I got it done, I was so giddy. I was like, it works. I'm so happy. But then this is the rest of the necklace, and it's just, stringing on beads and stuff like that. So I really, 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 really like this necklace, like enough to where I would love to keep it. But, it's one of those things. I wear it for a little while, and then I put it on my table, see if I can let somebody else wear it for as long as they want to. And then this was the bracelet that I did, and it's bead woven. So this is just a simple right angle unit. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it. And then use thread through the rest of it and everything. And it's a similar patterns and stuff, just a little bit different as far as the bead woven portion of it. And then the earrings, I think the earrings were the first part of that video. but I really, really liked the earrings too because they're very lightweight. They're very neat. It's very simple. It's just a simple loop in between, and then just making sure you put your charm on before you finish off the loop type thing. So very quick, very easy to make those. And then the last video that came out was the Sam's Beadbox one, which is where the during the video is you see me using these guys here, and I'm creating something with this. And then I show this at the end because this is what I actually made first, and I only had 4 of these left over. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll make earrings and a bracelet out of this to show you that you can be very versatile with what you can do with this type of a connector. And then that's the bottom side. And that's what I really like about this is that it's flat on one side, so it sits really, really comfortably on a wrist as a bracelet and everything. But just the versatility of being able to do this and to use the different type of things, you know, connect them in different ways and stuff like that to make, you know, something similar, but it's still different enough to where it's not matchy-matchy. So that was the first component. And then the second component, I've worn this necklace like probably 5 times now. I really, really enjoy this necklace, but this is the beaded portion of the necklace right here. So this is bead woven, and minus the larger, oh, Captain's doing something. Michaela's yelling at him now. But minus the larger bead here. So just the cage is what is bead woven. And then as you're stringing it on, you string through the top part of the cage, you add your 8mm bead, and then you go through the bottom part of the cage, and then you string along. So this was really fun to make. The only thing that I did not account for was, let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. Yeah. See how much space there is between the actual product and the crimp tubes. I did not account for, because when I put it together, all of these cages were like this. But when I wear it, they start squishing down. And so that added extra room and everything. So I still think it works fine. Like I said, I've worn this quite a bit of times, like probably 8 times since I've made it. And I've not noticed any irritation or anything like that in the back of my neck because of this. So I think it'll still be okay. But just kind of give you a heads up that if you decide to do something like this and you run into that, you might want to squish all of these down as you're doing your crimp tubes and everything. So just an FYI on that one. But I still really, really, really like this one too. Between this whole thing, these are my 2 favorite things, the 2 necklaces. And I'm not a really big necklace person. I'm more of an earring person. So one of those things. So those are the projects that I made. So I'm going to move these off to the side, and then I will show you quickly the bargain bead box projects to give you a first look basically at what I'm planning on doing for bargain bead box for this month. So I've got one of the earrings made, I've got the bracelet made, and there is still a lot of thread connected to the necklace. So I will show the necklace here in a minute because that one's going to take up a lot of room. So this will be the earring that I'll end up doing the video on. So if India ever does watch this, she always makes fun of me because I like right angle weave. So India, if you're watching this, it is right angle weave again, but it's a little bit different. So you can see there's a little bit different of a pattern to it. And then this down here is also right angle weave, and I used it to create basically a link for the two of them together. So that'll be the earring in the video. The bracelet here again, I think I've worn this about 10 times also, but this is St. Petersburg stitch is what this is called. So this is also bead woven. So I'll show you how to make that, and it's very versatile stitch that you can use a whole lot of different things in. So I really like that one. Now this one is the necklace. And like I said, I have thread everywhere still. All right, so let me see if I can get it to sit in the right way because it flops around a lot. And so it's kind of hard to get it to sit right. But yeah, it's still quite floppy. Anyways, you get the idea of what it's going to be. This is actually what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to sit like that. So it does flop around a lot. But even when it is like this, it still looks pretty cool though too. So this is actually an idea that looks better. There we go. This is actually an idea that I got from another designer. Oh, thanks, Katie. That she had something very, very similar to this on her site, probably maybe 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And this is called the Oglala. It's Oglala. So however you pronounce that, that's what this stitch is called. But she uses different size gem seed or beads here. I think she used maybe check glass or something like that in the center. But I'm using a different size gemstone. I'm also using some of the spacers that came in the bargain bead box. But then a whole lot of seed beads and a whole lot of thread. I have used at least 9 wingspans of thread in this necklace so far, and I'm just now starting the last little row right here to do the picot stitch around the end. So 9 wingspans, and a wingspan is approximately your height, and I am just shy of 5'5". So there is almost 50 feet of thread already in this necklace. So it uses up a whole lot of thread. But this is what I was referring to when Danielle was going through her Seed Bead Saturday last week. I had said that, everybody was talking about how Chanel stitch takes up a lot of thread, which that does too. And I was just like, yeah, the one I'm working on takes up a lot of thread also. And nobody else had heard about it. I had not heard about this either until I started kind of doing some research to figure out, all right, what other stitches are out there that I haven't done yet on my channel that, maybe some people don't know about. So, and when I had mentioned that, Danielle hadn't heard about that one, and neither did Becky. So yeah, so I'm planning on doing that as the video as well. So we'll get those done. And that should hopefully be out, I'd say within probably about a week to 2 weeks, somewhere around in there. I'm hoping it'll be sooner than that, but it is one of those things that time and trying to get everything done and make sure they're done and things like that, and make sure it's nice, because like I said, I'd rather have one quality video than a whole lot of a quantity of videos. So, or is it okay? I'm in awe. Oh, thanks, Dawn. Can you show the bracelet real again quick? Yes, I can. So here is the bracelet. Or is that what we're going to make today? Nope, this is not what we're going to make today. This is going to be in the bargain bead box video. So this is part of the unboxing video. So I've got the unboxing done, and I did the earring, I did the bracelet, and then I'm working on the necklace because I had never done that stitch before. So I wanted to do that before I started recording at all. So I have to record the tutorial portions of this, but this is what this is. So it uses the red rondelles and then the little 3mm beads and then seed beads and stuff like that. So that's the bracelet. I'm in love with that. Thank you. I love the colors of this. This ended up being really, really nice because when I pulled all this out, seed bead wise and everything, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And I just basically told myself, just work on it, just do it, see what it looks like. But it's like it's so cool. I mean, it really goes with my outfit that I have on today too, because I'm wearing brown and green. So it's like, it's just really, really nice bracelet. So that one's going to be fun. And that one's definitely going to be fun to work with. All right, let's see if I can get some thread on my needle. Let's see. We've got a couple other people watching. So if you are watching, say hi. Love to know where you're from. Also, don't forget to put in #unwind to be entered in the drawing at the end of the live. I am doing a drawing for $25 off in my Etsy shop. It'll be a coupon code that you can use as a one-time thing, and it won't expire. So if you don't see anything at the moment, then you can always wait until you do see something that you like, and you'll get $25 off. And I cannot, of course, get this in the needle at the moment. So, oh, come on now. I think I'm going to have to get a different needle. Now you're going to see me struggle trying to get a needle threaded. Okay. Probably doesn't help that I'm using my pre-used needles. Oh, hey. Is it Vaughn or is it Monica? I just noticed you're here. I'm sorry. I usually try to say hi to everybody when I see you. I'm sorry. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. If it doesn't work, I'll probably just have to burn off another portion of the thread. Vaughn, no worries. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the one thing about our little tag names and stuff like that we have. I cannot get this in there. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you're one name or the other, and like my sister says me cat cat. So if you didn't know who she was, which a lot of you probably don't because she doesn't get on my lives or anything other than, just saying hi, that type of stuff. But her name is Catherine, actually, but she goes by Katie. So that's the one thing about all of our little nicknames and stuff that we have on here, that sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what your name is. And growing up with the name of Dina, it's one of those things that I've always been a little sensitive about, is people pronouncing my name, until I got older and I realized that, they're not trying to do that on purpose, try to mispronounce it on purpose. It's just, there's so many different ways that you can spell Dina. And with my accent, with my Texan accent, sometimes it sounds like I'm saying Dana instead of Dina. So people get confused every once in a while. Oh, I should probably tell you the colors that I'm using here, because I don't think I put the colors in the video. I meant to do that in the description of the video, and I don't think I did. So, 8-O's. 8-O's, I'm using the Miyuki 8-O's, that color 401. This is just the black ones. So this is just black 8-O's, and I don't have that many left over, so hopefully I can get through this. The 11-O's that I'm using, oh, it's not even on there. This is gunmetal, matte gunmetal. And I don't remember the number of this one right now, but it's Miyuki's, and it is a matte gunmetal is what that one is. And then this one is White Pearl Ceylon. And that's Potomac's number. So the actual number, take off the FP here, because they used to sell factory packs, and I don't think they do factory packs anymore. It's been a minute since I've looked at the beads and stuff, but it's number 528. Miyuki's number 528. So just ignore that FP that's in there. But those are the 3 colors that I'm using in this. And then we had already done this portion of it to where we did a connector portion right there. What I'm going to end up doing is making this into a pendant. So I am, instead of connecting right here, I'm probably going to connect the next one over here off to the side rather than in this area. So since I'm going, let's see, which way am I beading in right now? I am beading in this direction. So I would like, oh, hello. Uh-oh. I think I lost my phone. Hold on. Hopefully I'm still live. Okay, well, at least I'm live there. I'm still here. Okay, let's see what's going on with my phone. See if I can get it connected again. No signal. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Oh. Well, okay, that's back on. Perfect. All right, let's see. Oh, my actual camera is not working now. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Juanita, hey, how are you doing? Finally made it to live. Glad you're here. I know you can see me down here, but apparently my front-facing camera wanted to stop quitting too. It's quit working now too, so terrific. It is what it is. Don't forget, Juanita, to enter into the giveaway. I'm giving away $25 in my Etsy shop at the end of the giveaway. I also have opened up my Etsy shop to where it is not just the US shipping anymore. I ship to Canada and to the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. I'm trying those out, see how they work and everything, see if I get any interest in those countries. But if you're actually watching from another country outside of those and you're interested, and or if you win the $25 at the end, then just let me know and I'll open it up to that country too. So, but it's open to anything that I have in my shop. So now that I'm back on this thing, I keep getting one ad after another and another, and I never had that happen during. Yeah, I can't figure out what's going on with that because on StreamYard, what I'm using, where it says StreamYard right here, it shows that it's not supposed to have ads. But then I think there's a setting in actually YouTube. So I'm working on those settings because I wanted to get it to turn off also. So if that is happening, there should be a box, a little thing down here right around in this area that says skip ad or something like that. Just click on that. But I'm still working on the settings. So apparently I missed something, but I will work more on that and try to get that fixed for the next live too, because I know that can be annoying. The replays is usually when I try to get the ads to pop up and not just on the lives. The lives I don't like to have the ads on. So I'm working on that. So I'm sorry. I'm trying. But there's a setting that I missed somewhere. So let's see. So in the video, I did a connection right here. I'm going to do a connection, I think, let's see, that's 6 away. Let's do 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, or maybe 5. Let's do 5 away and see how that works. Hopefully that'll be okay. So I'm coming out of this 180 right here, and my thread is actually above it, so it's in between. It's right in this area. So I'm going to move over two more beads right in there, and then I'm going to do my little nice. I am in Canada. I haven't gotten any ads, but I have premium. Yeah, premium, and I don't think you get any of the ads at all. But yeah, that's something that I've been trying to work on because I know it's been a little bit of a pain. And I am square stitching on this guy. So whenever I do square stitch, I like to try to go through my connection point twice. So I have 2 thread paths through both sides of the bead at least. And then we need to add our next rows. And then this, I have to cheat and I have to remember how many beads I put around it. I think it was, let's see, it was this one. I think it was 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 on top of that. So we'll add 7 first. 5, 6, and 7. And then we want to make sure that we're going in the same direction as the thread is going, and I did that backwards. Okay, hold on. Upside down, backwards. Terrific. All right. Yeah, see, there's ads coming up on my daughter's thing too. I always have my daughter's YouTube going on that side over there to my right. So yeah, there's ads showing up on hers too. So there's a setting I missed somewhere. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I think that's what we needed around it. And I apologize for not remembering this. So that's okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. Okay. And then, because it has been basically a month since I did this video. And then we're going to go through all of these beads one more time. And then we'll come back out of the connector bead down here and along the edge. And then we'll start adding all of our other beads to it. Yeah, hopefully that'll be a good connection, because I'll put one more down here off to the bottom. Whoops, you can't see that. One more down here off to the bottom. All right, so now we're going to square stitch on our 11-ohs. So is anybody else working on anything at the moment? And there's Captain and Casper. Apparently somebody just rang the doorbell. It's really funny now because Captain used to never bark at anybody when they'd come up to the door, like any deliveries or anything like that, but now he barks at everybody. And there's times that when I get deliveries, whether it's from United States Postal Service or if it's US UPS or FedEx, Amazon, any of the above, that it's just some people are like, "Whoa, big dog," and then they'll actually leave my packages out on the driveway. It's like either the driveway or a little walkway that we have, because we have a very small walkway from our driveway to our front porch, because we have a covered front porch. And they won't even get up to the little walkway. They'll just leave it on the driveway sometimes. So I walk out and I'm like, okay, well, I know I just got a package, but I need to go out and get it. And I walk out and I'm like, where is it at? And then I look over and realize that it's out on the driveway, because the dogs are barking and they're like, I don't want to get bitten by the dog or whatever. And I'm like, it's a golden retriever and a Bernese Mountain Dog. The Bernese Mountain Dog might jump on you because we're still having issues with him jumping. But other than that, you're probably going to be fine. You're probably going to get licked. Dawn. Somebody said Dawn. Oh, hi, Is it Dorothy? Hello, how are you? Dawn, did I miss Dawn? Oh, no, I didn't miss Dawn. Sorry. Nice to see you, Dorothy. Don't forget to enter into the drawing if you want to. I am giving away $25 to use in my Etsy shop at the end of the video. To enter in the drawing, all you have to do is hashtag unwind. And you can use that for basically anything in my Etsy shop. My Etsy is now open to not just the United States anymore. It's open to Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. So I am trying out some different markets. So just to show you what I'm doing, I'm moving up to the 11-ohs now. Trying out some different markets to see how things go. And picking up at 15, and we're just going to go through the next 11. And then that's all you do on this stitch, or this part of the stitch. And I will do the giveaway at the end. And then I'll have it set up to where whoever wins just needs to email me, and then I will email them the coupon code, and it'll just be a coupon code. It's not going to expire. You can use it at any time. So if you see something that you like at the moment, then you can use it now. Or if you want to wait till Saturday to see what the new collections are going to be. If you're not familiar with what I do a creative color challenge. I used to do it on a monthly basis, but now I do it every other month just because it's a lot of work, because I really am putting together two completely different collections, and it was just becoming very time consuming. So I started doing it every other month instead. So the last one I had come out was in June, and then now I have this one for August. But from that, I will have a YouTube poll put up, and you can choose which one you would like to see videos from first. I also will have the collections available on the 15th. The poll runs from the 15th to the 21st. And then now, after I add this last 15, I'm going to go through all the 11s and 15s one more time, just to kind of tighten everything up a little bit. But the poll runs from the 15th to the 21st, so you have 7 days to decide which one you would prefer to see a video from first. And then if you decide to go ahead and purchase the collections, because they will be available on the 15th now as well. In the past, I used to not do that. I used to wait until see who the winner was going to be, and the winner would be available, and not the runner-up would be available later. But I decided to go ahead and start doing everything being available all at once. And that's mainly just because I kind of felt like it was almost, not that it wasn't fair or anything like that, but it was just, people weren't, they were saying, oh, I really, really like this one, this, version A, or I really liked version B, but then they had to wait another week for it to come out to see what the cost was and things like that. So the costs do vary on the kits. One of the kits is going to be $40 this month. The next one's going to be $68. There is a difference in that, mainly because the $68 one has a whole lot of check glass in it, and check glass can be expensive, as we all know, because we all love to work with beads and gemstones and stuff. The gemstones that are in the $68 one is a little bit more on the higher end of gemstones too, so that costs a little bit more. So it was just kind of one of those things. So I'd try not to get things to be over 50, but it was just getting to that point where I was like, okay, I kind of went a little over budget on it, but just everything went together so well that I just felt like I couldn't take anything out. So I hope that's not going to be a turn away to anybody, but maybe if you win the $25, then you won't have to worry about the $68. I did like and subscribe. Awesome. Thanks, Dorothy. This is my first time. Heard Dawn invited me. Oh, thanks, Dawn. I'm reading up, sorry. Dorothy put hashtag before the word. Hashtag unwind. Okay, perfect. You got it. Okay. All right, I was reading up the everything. Okay, so now I need to figure out where I'm going to do my next connection. So this is this connection. I think we did 5 in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 of the 8-O's in between the first connection and the second one. So I am going to go down to 4 again. I'm still sitting up here in the 11 and 15-O round. So I'm going to go to the 11-O that's right above number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to get to this one right here. So then I need to get to this 11-O right here. So when I go down into the 8, there won't be any thread showing. Let's see. Let's do a double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Now this last one's going to be a little bit more fun because we're going to be brick stitching one of these beads onto this one over here to create a circle. So first we're going to do our normal brick stitch with the 8/0. And I'll show you actually an easy way of doing this if you're kind of worried about counting. And here is this. Dina, how long have you been bead weaving? I started around actually 2017 was when I started to bead weave. I actually was, it's kind of a funny story. My daughter, oh, I forget how old she was when we did this, but for one Christmas, and she was probably 3, something like that. So she was still kind of young to where she really couldn't say, "Oh, mommy, I really want this." And so we were still trying to figure out, what Santa Claus was going to get the kiddo. So, and she's my only child, so she's very spoiled. 4, 5, 6, 7, putting 7 beads on first. But so she was still young enough to where we were trying to figure out what we're going to get her for Christmas. Well, that year I decided to get some painting supplies. So I got a bunch of acrylic paints. I got some canvases that were already pre-done, and like the picture was already pre-marked out and everything. All you had to do is basically color them in essentially with paint. And she really liked it. I really liked the idea. She really enjoyed it. And then we got it all out and sat down to start working on it. And then I realized I have no clue how to paint. I had no idea what to tell her to do first. And, other than, just put a block of color in this area and put a block of color in that area. And then I found out that I was doing the same thing. And I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing. So that kind of started the basically the first time that I got onto YouTube, because I started thinking about, oh yeah, there's some people that, some of my customers at the pharmacy started talking about, they were watching YouTube for this and that and whatever. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll get onto YouTube and see what this YouTube thing is. Not anywhere close to that time did I ever think that I would be on YouTube myself. So kind of weird, but I had gotten onto YouTube, try to figure out how to paint. And this was probably 2013, 2015, something like that, when I did all of this, and realized, finally found some people that I can actually paint with. And one person did just acrylics. And let me see if my camera is working again, because I feel like I'm talking with my hands. Nope, still not working. Okay. But one person does just acrylics, and I learned how to do basically that, where you start with the background and then you put layers of paint on top, on top, on top to get the effect that you want and things like that. So I kind of learned from that. And then I started looking around at other things, and I fell in love with, I can't even remember her channel anymore. She doesn't do anything anymore. Her husband passed away, and after he passed away, she doesn't do videos anymore. But she does mandala style dot paintings. So it's acrylic paint that's done in basically dots. And it's usually symmetrical and just really neat and intricate. Well, the thing that she would put on some of the dots would be Swarovski crystals. So the flat back crystals, she would glue those on some of the dots. And I love sparkle to begin with. And so just combining the painting as well as the dots and everything, that was just, it was neat. It was fun. It was great. I was like, I really love this. Well, then after I got into all of that, I started thinking, well, there are some beads out there that have flat backs to them. So I started looking around to see if I can find some beads that had a flat back to it that I can glue on to my my paintings and use that as part of the decoration. Well, when I started looking around for that, I came across the Zoli duos. So the Zoli duos, if you're not familiar with that, it's a 2-hole bead, and they are in the shape of a comma. So you have the right Zoli duos that go in a comma like this, and then you have the left Zoli duos that go in a comma that go in the opposite direction. And they are a flat back, and then they have a domed side. Of course, there's 2 holes in the bead and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, these are perfect. Well, when I found those, that's how I found Potomac beads and found Allie, and she was actually doing a description of the Zoli duos because it was right around the time they actually came on the market. And so that's how I got involved with starting to figure out, okay, well, if these beads, I can use these in paintings and stuff, but I kind of like the jewelry that she's making. So let me see if I can just buy a couple of beads and see if I can make the jewelry out of it. And that's how I started making jewelry. So it's kind of interesting. It's different, and kind of stumbled upon it, and then, kind of went from there. So, and if you don't know, I do, I have done some videos for Potomac beads in the past too. So I haven't been able to get anything done yet this year or the last year and a half actually, because I've been concentrating on my channel at the moment. But I do have some things planned to hopefully be able to get to her soon too. So if you watch Potomac beads, you'll see me again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need to go through this one. Trying to figure out which one that I need to go through. Okay, so I need to be able to go through this bead, and then I also need to connect it to the bead here. So this is the connection. So we need to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it needs to go through that. All right, so then I need to get around to this bead right here. So I'm just going to continue around my circle until I get over there so I can connect the two before I start doing my 11 O's and 15 O's. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so 2 more. All right, so that should be the 5th bead. There's 4 in between this connection, and then that's where that connection is going to be. And then we need 4 in between this one and the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to go through this one and make sure that we're going in the same direction. Okay, I was. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one right here. And then this is so nothing twists or turns. And if you notice, if you pull it tight like this and this ends up going like this, then that means that you're going in the wrong direction of your bead. And so you just need to come back out of this bead and then go in the opposite direction. And then I'm going to go back through here again. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be fine. It's probably going to be a little bit tight, but it looks like we'll be fine. I might go through at the end and actually connect some of these 11 O's. Like these 11 O's right here look like they would probably line up, and then that would help keep the pendant from doing this the whole time. But we'll see. We'll see what it looks like here at the minute. Did I go through that twice? Let's see, twice on that one. I think no, I did twice on that one too. Okay, so I just need to do the 11s and 15s now. And my thread's starting to get kind of small. Or short. And you're welcome, Vaughn. Yeah, it definitely helps out to ask me questions. It gives me something to talk about. Because there's times I just sit here and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. Not everybody wants to hear about problems at the pharmacy because not everybody's a pharmacist. So yeah, definitely ask me questions if you want to. Oh gosh. Would be nice if I quit dropping this. It's probably the 4th or 5th time I've dropped it. Let's see. How are we doing on time? All right. It's only been a little over an hour. Perfect. Once we get done with this, I have one more pair of earrings, and depending on how long it takes me to do that one, and we'll see if I can start working on the other earring for my the earring that I made during the Gemstone Orphanage July 4th celebration that we did, the live that we did there. Hey, Dina, can you please show Miss Dorothy the bracelet just sometime before you close? Oh, yeah, definitely. Let me get this bead on real quick and I can show it again. So this, Dorothy, is the bracelet she's talking about. And it is a bead woven bracelet. And it's called the if I can say it right, St. Petersburg stitch. So I am going to be doing a video on showing you how to do this. And this is with items from the Bargain Bead Box, from August's Bargain Bead Box. So we'll do this bracelet, and then I have a pair of earrings, and I have a necklace. So most of it's going to be bead woven this time. I do kind of a different amount of things. I don't always do bead woven. I do some things that are just simple wire working, things like this, because this is last month's Bargain Bead Box. This is the Rainforest Relics, and I did this earring, and then the necklace that I did last month also is this. So it's a more of a bead stringing, and then I did a bead woven bracelet. So I do some different stuff. I don't always do bead woven stuff, but that's my primary thing that I usually do is bead woven. But I've been starting to do a little bit more different things, trying to expand my horizons a little bit. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Dorothy. So that video is halfway done. I got the unboxing part done, which I know there's been so many unboxings already, and my unboxing usually comes out a little bit later. But I'm one of those people that I would much prefer having one quality good video compared to having 10 or 15 just videos thrown together. So I do a lot of editing in my videos. I do a lot of music. I add music to my videos and things. So there's just more that I do. And, not to say that another designer shouldn't be doing something similar to I do. I mean, they need to be doing what they want to do. And this is just what I prefer. I prefer to have one quality good product compared to just a bunch of them thrown together. So, and I'm really starting to run out of thread. All right, guys. So now you're going to see me add some thread as soon as I figure out what I did with the thread. Okay, there. So now you can learn how I add thread to projects. And I'm not going to get that much out because we're almost done. So I think I'm going to do a little over an arm span. And this is my thread burner. This thing is awesome, absolutely awesome. It's by Beadsmith. It's a thread sap burner, but is one that you can actually plug in with a USB. So no more batteries, no more running out, no more spending. I don't know how much money I spent on batteries trying to go through my older ones. But I spent a lot of money on batteries. I would always wait until they got on sale. They went on sale at the pharmacy that I work at. And then I would get my employee discount plus the sale. That's when I would always wait until then to get more batteries. But now I don't have to worry about it. All right, so this is how I add thread. There are many, many different ways of adding thread, but this is how I usually do it. It also depends on the project, but this is primarily how I do it. So I'm making just a simple knot around the current working thread, and I'm going to make that knot tight. Now I'm going to take the small portion of that knot, the smaller portion of it, and I'm taking the current working thread that has the needle on it, trying to get the seed beads out of the way. Here, we'll put it over here. And then I'm going to pull down on it, and then that pulls that knot close to the product. Of course, this is all black. It's really hard to see. Can I get in underneath the light a little bit better? Yeah, you still can't see it that well. So, but the knot is down there, and I still have both of these pieces of thread in my hand. I will make the loop with the needle. So I'm going to make a loop, and then I'm going to go through that loop once towards me, because we're going to make another knot and hopefully not get the rest of the thread caught in it, like I think I almost am. And then I'm going to make another loop with the needle thread in that short one, and I'm going to go through the loop away from me. And then when you pull down on that, that ends up being the right over left, left over right square stitch, or whatever that stitch is called. Something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go away from that knot a few beads without wrapping around anything, and then that will help pull that knot inside one of these beads around in here somewhere. So now that is done, you could, if you wanted to, go ahead and burn off, which I'll go ahead and do that. I typically skip this in a lot of my videos of how I add thread, just because there's so many videos out there and there's so many different ways you can add thread. The big thing you want to do though is you want to make sure you're not going to burn through any of your loops that you have here. So just be really, really careful. And right now this is kind of hard for me. It's like I have a trimmer also, so it's hard for me to hold on to things sometimes and not shake. It's really interesting when I have to fill liquids at work, trying to pour a liquid into a bottle, and it's like, and I'm pouring it, and this is me actually shaking right now. So just imagine me having a bottle of liquid in my hand right now, trying to pour it into the little itty bitty small bottle that you get at the pharmacy. It's been kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. There have been many of spills over the years. All right. Trying to move everything out of the way. And I'm doing this kind of far away from my face too, so I wear bifocals, so trying to get things close enough to where I can see stuff, but then still leave it to where y'all can see it. It's like, yeah, sometimes that's hard. So much fun. Let's see. I've been in a slump this week. Haven't been beading. Yeah, I felt like that recently too. Looking forward to the bracelet. I have never done that stitch. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully I'll have that video out within the next week or two. Depending on how long I'm on here and then what goes on this evening. I have to make dinner tonight. It's my turn to make dinner in the evening. So I might work on some of it tonight and hopefully I'll have it out next week. That's my plan, is try to get it out next week. But I hate trying to say dates and everything and then things just don't work out. And I feel horrible when I don't get it out on time when I say I'm going to get it out. So I'm going to say hopefully next week if everything goes right. If not, it'll be a week after that. Oh, the thread zaps. I have an affiliate link that I can attach to the replay of the video. I don't know how to do that just yet on a live video, but on the replay, I can put the affiliate link to it. And they're somewhere around $30, and I think the link that I have is through Walmart. So that is that would be an option. So I can put that on the replay, that if you want to go through that, it is an affiliate link. So if you purchase it, then I do get a little bit of a commission with it. So anything would be helpful and grateful. But you don't obviously you don't have to buy it from there, but it gives you an idea of where it's at and how much it costs and stuff like that. So, but definitely worth the $30, I think. All right, go back up through the 11-0 up here, and then we're going to continue on with the 15s. Let's see, what else did I miss here? Me too. I've been using a lighter, but always scared to light the project on fire. That's funny, Vaughn. I totally get what you mean by that. But with me shaking and everything, there's times that I've actually burnt through a stitch before and had to go back and fix it because I was shaking and it accidentally burnt through things. But yes, the lighter, I totally get that. Before I got the thread burner, I actually used a lighter for a minute or two, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna end up messing up something. I'm just gonna spend the money and get a thread burner. So this is actually, I think, my fourth maybe my fifth. No, fourth. Because I had two thread burners that I really liked that burnt out kind of quick. And then, so after the second one went kind of fast, I was like, you know what? I don't want to spend 20 bucks on thread burners and they only last for, 6 months to a year or something. I mean, obviously I'm doing a lot of use with it, but I didn't really want to spend that much money on it, plus the batteries on top of it. So I tried a different one that was a battery, which is one of the other thread zaps. And I really like that one. That one still works. That one's still in good shape. It was just the battery thing. I'm like, I just don't want to spend that much more money on batteries. And I think it was Becky. Yeah, Becky had one that was chargeable. And I was like, you know what? I need to look and see if I can find something. And then sure enough, ThreadZap has a chargeable one, this one. So since I'm familiar with ThreadZap in their products and stuff, I went ahead and just purchased that one. It's a little bit more than the one that Becky has on her site. I think she still has the link on that. I believe she gets it from Amazon. Don't quote me on that though, because I don't know that for sure. But I do remember that the cost difference was probably like $5 or $10, something like that. It wasn't that big of a difference, but I just got this one mainly because of the brand name. I was familiar with it, so let's see. I'm missing stuff again. I'm beating with my head down. Fawn, I'm afraid of the lighter. My thread burner uses batteries. Have you seen the mushroom method that Danielle does? The mushroom method? Yes, is it worth it? Fire. Fire. The mushroom method. I have not seen that. I'm going to have to go look that up sometime. Dawn, I love that trick. And it looks exactly like the one that you have. All right, so now I'm going to connect the 11 O's that I was talking about earlier. So that way we have something that looks more like a cross. Be a cross of flowers. So I'm just going to go through one of the 11 O's and then hold the other one up to it and then just connect bricks or square stitch wise. I think I said brick stitch earlier. I meant square stitch. If I said brick stitch earlier, we're doing square stitch. I feel like I said brick stitch earlier sometime. I'll send you the link to the tutorial where she showed it. Yeah, if you're able to send me the link too, that'd be cool. All right, there we go. So now that one is connected. And I'm going to go ahead and do a second round of thread in here. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to get, let's see, probably these two right here are going to be connected, these two guys. So I'm going to go back through the one up here at the top and then go through the 11s and 15s until I get to that 111O. And I'm just kind of guessing right now. I'm not going through a specific bead, I don't think. It might end up being the same beads, like the same number of beads in between. But at the moment, I'm just kind of going through the beads. And the cool thing about this pendant is that after you get this part done, you can start adding all sorts of stuff around this. You can add beads in between here. So you can add, a couple beads in between and then make this even larger. And then you can add yourself a bail up here at the top if you want to do that. There's so many different things that you can end up doing with this. I think those are I think these are some of my favorite type of videos where I make a component of some sort that you can just change up in any way, shape, or form and make it your own component, and just use it off, base it off of what you learned from the video. These are probably my favorite type of things to do. Okay, well, that one's getting kind of tight. See how I just kind of wiggled my needle through there? If you're ever going through a seed bead, especially 15s, just wiggle your needle if you're having issues getting through it. Excuse me. And don't jerk on it, because if you jerk on it, one, it could mess up the thread and actually cause your thread to start fraying. And two, you can break a bead. So, because they are glass beads. So, one of those things. All right, so I am going to pick going through these two right here, I think. This is kind of getting hard to see with my lighting and everything. All right, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. 3 more 11-Os. That's where we're going to love that, Dina. Thank you. 1, 2, and 3. Well, maybe. Come on. You can do it. Nope. Doesn't want to do it. Well, fine then. I will do it this way. I am going to get through that bead. Yay! Okay. What's really funny is when I start talking to myself like this at the pharmacy, standing in front of the computer, and I'm either trying to get something to go through the insurance or, working on a problem of some sort. Insurance is usually when I'm sitting there yelling at the computer saying, "You will work. You're going to work." And it's like, I'm pretty sure my customers are like, is she on something? It's like, no, I'm talking to the computer. I'm urging it to allow the insurance to go through. Let's see. All right, so that one is connected. So this is the last one that we need to connect. So I think I'm going to connect right here. So I'm going to skip 2 and then connect that one. I will definitely watch the replay and make this component. Well, awesome. Thank you. I would love to see it too. You're always, always, always welcome to post on my community tab, because I would always love to see what everybody's working on. And it doesn't have to be stuff that's from me either. If you see something that Danielle's working on, or Becky and Jenny, or, really anybody, something from Potomac Beads, something like that. I always love to see what everybody's working on. And I know there's other platforms to do that too, like Facebook. I do have a Facebook page too. I'm not on it very often, partially just because there's just so much to do. Pharmacy, and then making the videos and stuff like that. So I try my best to be on social media and try to, excuse me, try to get my voice on social media and stuff like that, and my stuff. But it's kind of on the back burner a little bit. So I know there's Facebook pages, and I'm starting to try to get a Pinterest page together. I haven't really talked about Pinterest at all because I don't really know how to promote it yet. I don't know how to get it all together, that type of thing. But there's our pendant pretty much. I'm going to try to see if I can get back over to this thread so we can tie off at the actual thread here and then go from there. But so there's always other ways of me seeing stuff too that everybody's working on. But there's just times that I just don't really have the time to be on Facebook and things like that. Also, I tend to find myself just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling when I'm on Facebook. Because I originally got onto Facebook just to keep in touch with my family. since living in the States, obviously there's, well, we're kind of spread out. Half the family or a portion of the family, I don't know if I'm on screen, a portion of the family lives here in Texas. Then we have more of the family that lives in Missouri. This is my side of the family. We have family that lives in Kansas. And then I have an aunt that I've kind of lost track of. So if Aunt Julie, if you're ever out there watching this, I'd love to hear from you. I kind of lost track of you. And I kind of miss talking to her. So now I'm just tying a knot. I got back to the starter thread. And then, of course, my husband has a huge family. So they're spread out all between Texas and Louisiana. So, but yeah, that's the main reason why I got on Facebook in the first place. Dina, will you be making the bail for the pendant? I can. I definitely can. So let me get this cut off real quick. Cut off, burnt off. And then I can make a bail. And I think I'll probably do something similar to one of the videos that's coming out for Bargain. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm planning on doing for that one. All right. Okay, so to make the bail, I'm going to find one that is kind of in the center. Let's see. I'm looking for an 8-0 that's more in the center. We may have to do across 2 8-0s. Yeah, we're going to have to do across 2 8-0s because I did an even number. So yeah, we'll have to do it across 2 8-0s. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use these 2 8-0s here. And that's kind of just in the center of one of the flowers there. And what I'm going to do first is go through just that first 8-0, and I'm going to use that first 8-0 as the stop bead. So I'm going to go down until I have a little bit to hang on to, and then I'm going to wrap right back through that bead, and then I'm going to go ahead and go through that second bead in the bail. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of a stop thread there. It's not going to be perfect. It's still going to be kind of movable, so just make sure that you can hang on to it a little bit. So now we're going to, let's see, do I have enough 8-0s? I should have enough 8-0s to where I can do it with the 8-0s. So now we're going to add, let's see, let's do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 more beads on here. So it's a total of 8 beads. And it's going to be kind of a raw stitch. So we're just going to go back through the bail. Get those back out of the way. So we're going to go back through the 2 seed beads there on the end. And then now you have yourself a big loop like that. Well, now we're going to decorate this loop a little bit. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0. And I'm going to go through the next 2 8-0s. Still holding on to the starter thread until I move on to the next stitch. So then I'm going to pick up another 11-0. I'm going to go through the next 2 8-0s. Another 11-0. Go through the next. And then we're going to be back down here at the bottom. So this is, there, you can kind of see it a little bit better. And it's still kind of dark. Still need to work on my lighting, I think. So we're going to go back through the 2 that are on there. And hey, Jenny! Jenny made it! Yay! Uh-oh. Sorry for your loss. Uh-oh, I lost something. Don't forget, Jenny, put in hashtag, what did I say? Hashtag Unwind, and you can be entered in for $25 off my Etsy shop that you can use on anything that you like. You have family in Missouri too? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my family lives in the St. Louis area. That's where my parents grew up, actually. Finished reading with Mom, so popped in to say hi. Yay, I'm glad you got here. My fur baby passed away 14. Oh, Dorothy, I'm sorry. I hate to hear about that. That's never, ever a easy thing to go through. Never an easy thing to go through. How fun. A giveaway. I know. I had actually thought about doing a giveaway actually 2 weeks ago when right before I had canceled this live. I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to do a giveaway of some sort. I just didn't know exactly what to do, how to do it. I mean, well, I knew how to do it because we did it during the live um, for Gemstone Orphanage, but I just wasn't sure what to do. And then when I watched Seed Bead Saturday this last Saturday with you and your sister and Danielle, and Danielle was just like, "Yeah, I'm just doing $25 off my shop." I'm like, you know what? I could probably do that too. So that's where I got the idea from. I need more eights. Now the only thing with the bail is that you have to kind of know what you're going to be using this with. Now the bail itself, you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can leave it this way, and then you can connect this with a jump ring if you wanted to, and then that way it can connect and just kind of swivel around and things like that. You could do something similar to what I'm going to do, where I'm going to make kind of a little loop. So I'll probably put 2 more right angle units like this with 11 O's as decoration in between, and then I'll connect it back to here. You can do it that way, but if you do it that way, you have to make sure that whatever loop that you make is going to be large enough and not too large, depending on what your plan is, to go around whatever it is that you're going to put string this on, that type of thing. So just one of those things you have to think about. 4, 5, and 6. Mine's in Springfield. Yeah, that's actually really close. I think I actually have one of my aunts or cousins. Aunts or cousins, I don't know. I think one of them lives in Springfield right now too. So but yeah, that was the main reason why I got on the Facebook. And then it kind of just blossomed into other things. So I have my personal Facebook, but then I also have a business Facebook page. So my personal Facebook, I don't really add too many people to. Who's texting me? And then that was my husband. And I don't add too many people outside of my family to my Facebook. 4, 5, 6, only because, that's really what I use it for. Oops, wait, hold on. That last one, we don't want to add 6. We only want to add 4. And actually, we only want to add 2 at the moment. So it's going to be a total of 4, but we only want to add 2 at the moment. Or do I? Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Talking and not really paying attention to what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to flip this around to where it's on the back. All right, so this is where I'm coming out right now. These are the 2 beads down here that were from the original portion. So what I did is I added 2 of my 8-O's that you can barely see because it's out of focus now. I'm coming out of the right-hand side there. I'm going to go through the right-hand side of the original 2 8-O's that we had down here. And then when you do that, it's going to pull it all together down here at the bottom. Now we're going to add 2 more 8-O's and go back through the 2 8-O's that are up here at the top that's sharing that middle portion. And then that makes our last right angle unit. And then now we're going to add the 11 O's in between all 4 of these. So the 4 corners basically. And I'm giving a little bit of a tug each time. Let's see. Congrats, Jenny. Great job. I actually got a clasp on the bracelet I made Saturday this afternoon, but actually finished the bead weaving thing. Yay! That's the first time for me. That's awesome. I loved those colors that you picked out on that bracelet. That was cool. I'm a sucker for blue anyway. And blue and yellow in particular, it just, to me, that's a happy color mix. So, so yeah, I was kind of excited about the color combos. Back in the day, if you lived in the West Plains, Dauphin area, you would have drank my family's milk. Oh, well, that's cool. Jenny, I thank you for the beaded veil you created. I love making it. Isn't it a fun element? Just can't stop making them now. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I showed earlier, Jenny, the necklace that I made for Bargain Bead Box. The one that I got so excited about, and I even, shouted out in the video saying, "Jenny, I did it!" So I showed this off earlier. It's like it's one of my favorite necklaces. It's one of those things that I'm not sure if I can actually put that on my table to try to sell. But my husband would sit there and say, "Sell it." He was telling me before he went into work today, he was just like, "No more beads. No more beads. Stop buying beads." It's like, "I'm not buying beads. I'm doing a live today." Ay, ay, ay. The things we have to go through. All right, so then there is your bail, and then, or one type of bail that you could use. So you have just a little opening right there, and it could be really used for anything. And then I'm just going to go down the side and go across over here to where the starter thread is at. And I'm going to leave that little loop. I can see it. I doubt you can actually see it because of it being black on black, but there's still a little loop right here on this side of the seed bead. Nobody's ever really going to see that unless they are looking so close at your necklace. And if they're looking that close at your necklace, then they just need to say it's pretty and just leave that alone. And then I can leave that there. Oop, nope, I missed it. All right, try that again. And then there we go. And then I'm going to move away from that knot again, so that way it kind of pulls the knot into the beads a little bit. You can always, I don't know if y'all heard that or not, heard it click, but you can feel it. You can feel it kind of punch into one of the beads. I'm actually going to get over here a little bit closer, and then that's where I'll burn off. There we go. All right, let's see if I can do this without burning anything else. I feel like I'm going to jinx myself. Okay, don't hit the button, don't hit the button, don't hit the button. There we go. All right, work. I'm holding my breath. Okay. There we go. And this one's kind of long, but that's okay. Look at all the smoke that's coming up. All right. So that is one version. And then that way you can just string on and you can add extra beads to it if you want. Like I said, you can always just go through one of these beads right here and then start adding extra beads along the edge and then connect this over here and then make your pendant a little bit larger if you wanted to. You can add extra seed beads if you wanted to add extra beads that came in the kit and everything. So there is that bail. So that is that one. And then let me see if I can kind of get this cleaned up really quick. I would switch to my front-facing camera, but halfway through, it decided to not work. Hello from Connecticut. Well, hello. That is beautiful. Thank you. And welcome. So I'm not quite sure what your name is. I'm horrible with names. So those that have been with me long enough know that it takes me a little bit to kind of remember everybody's name. But thank you for coming in. Tanya. That's Tanya, maybe. Don't forget Miss Tanya, if that is your name. I apologize if it is not. Don't forget to put in the comments hashtag unwind. I am giving away a $25 gift card to my Etsy shop that you can use on anything in my Etsy. And if you're not familiar with my Etsy, I have jewelry up there. I have collections that I've put together over the last couple of months. I started doing collections in January, where I do beaded collections. Some of them were beads from my stash. That's what I used to do. Now I kind of get things together and curate things and purchase things to kind of go along. Some of the stuff is some items are still from my stash, like the findings and things like that. Some of those things are still from my stash, but for the most part, now there's things that I purchase and just put together, and it's called the Creative Color Challenge. And the next Creative Color Challenge is actually coming out on Saturday. So if you're not a member or a subscriber to the channel, then subscribe, and then that way on Saturday you'll have more information as to what that is. But just the quick little rundown of that is that I have 2 palettes that you can choose from, and I put up a poll. And then from those palettes, whichever one wins becomes a video. And I'm doing this new this time, that the one that, or on Saturday when the unboxing video is released, as well as the poll, both of the collections will be available as well. So that way you can buy one or both, whichever, if you wanted to right away. All right, so this was my project idea for this. So I'm just going to kind of go through, I think, maybe one of these to show you how I did it, because it's very, very simple. And get this one torn apart though first. I was going to do this in the original video that I had. I was going to make this pair of earrings, but I couldn't get through the 80 seed beads, and I broke actually a couple of them. So I may not actually be able to show you exactly what I'm doing with this, or it may have to be a different color. But that's why this one was the way it was, because I was in the middle of recording and I broke a seed bead. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-record it. So I did it a second time and I broke another one. I'm like, great. So I have these colors set up right now, and the color that keeps breaking is the vintage copper color. So, and it's mainly because the certain seed beads on my Yuki, it's not the bead itself is bad. It's just the coating on top of the bead makes it so much, gets so much more coating on it, to where the hole of the bead itself is smaller than typical 80 seed beads. So sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. And then, I can get jump rings through them no problem with a couple of thread paths and everything. And then other times, like I was having problems with this one, it just wouldn't work. So I'll give you the gist of what it is. If it works, great, we'll finish the earring. If not, it's alive. I'll finish it off screen. In fact, I think I'm going to get all of them out just so I can see. All right. And then, let's see, that one's really short. I'm going to throw that one away. And my green thread. Where's my green thread? Oh, there it is. And I'll probably only have time to be able to be on for about another 20 minutes or so anyway. My voice is already starting to kind of go. This is when I use a lot of thread. I started buying the 300-yard ones. I use a lot of thread. Oh, and then Jenny, I wanted to show you this too. I know you saw a picture, or potentially a picture. I sent it in our group, but this was the necklace that I was working on. So it kind of looks like a hot mess right now because it's just all flipped around and everything. But when it sits correctly, it'll sit something similar to this part right here. But this is that necklace that I was working on, that I was talking about during Seed Bead Saturday. This is the Oglala stitch or something to that point. But I'm on the last row right here where I'm starting to put the picot portion on it and everything. So that's that stitch that I was talking about. So that will be in the video, hopefully coming out next week. Like I said, I don't want to promise that and then feel horrible that it doesn't get out in time. So hopefully in the next week. If not next week, it should be the week after that. And then I have that one, and then St. Petersburg stitch bracelet, and then another right angle weave earring that's going to go in that. That's all for the bargain bead box stuff. Oh, and I'm far behind. Let's see. What's everybody talking about? Hi, I learned to make a vessel with your tutorial for the Rivoli. Thank you. Your tutorial was easiest for me to follow. Well, thank you. If that's you're talking about me, that's cool. Hi, Vaughn. Hi, Dorothy. Love that pendant. Thank you. I struggle with my Yuki Delica satin. They have sharp edges. It cuts my thread. Yeah, sometimes that does happen. The Delicas, because they're the way they're made, they're not as rounded on the edges, obviously, because they're more of a squared off bead. So yeah, it does happen sometimes. Yep, Tanya, enter hashtag unwind. Yep, there you go. Awesome. Now you're entered in for the giveaway, which I'm kind of excited. It's the first time I'm doing a giveaway. So, all right. So I'm going to put 3 of the little itty bitty small cathedral beads on. And then I'm going to pull it down to the end until I have just a little bit to hang on to. And then I think I did I do 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, completely off. I did 10 11 seed beads. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the bad thing about this is that I have no clue what color number this one is. I wish I did, but it is disappeared on my desk. There it is. It was one that came in a Beads of the Month does this at the end of the year. They're called gold bags, I think, if I remember correctly. Or bags of gold, that's what it is. They're called bags of gold. And they're just bags of beads and stuff like that you can get for a very discounted price. But nothing's labeled, so you just get little baggies of beads, and nothing's labeled, so we don't know exactly what the colors are or what exactly that bead is. So this one, I have not been able to figure out exactly what it is, the color wise. I think, did I use this? Yeah, I used this on the necklace for the Sam's bead box. So I put a color that I had found that was pretty similar to it in the description. So I'm hoping it's similar enough that it's not going to throw anything off. But 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay. So hopefully that ends up being a similar color. But if it's not, then that's what it is. Or that's why it's there. So, all right. So once I get the 10 on either side of the bead, so I put the 10 on, went back through the beads, put 10 more on, then went back through it again. So now my thread's coming out up here at the top. The red pendant has an early 1900s feel to it. Yeah, it does. It reminds me of Downtown Abbey. Oh yeah, it does. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to kind of look at my hados and see if I can get lucky and find one that is a little bit larger of a hole. All right, let's try this one. So I'm going to put an 80 on. If this doesn't work, I can demonstrate it better with the black ones, and we can just find one that's a little bit better. So I'm coming out of the top of this little collection here, and I'm just going to go straight back down the center beads and then pull tight. And when you pull tight, that should put your 80 sitting right there. Then I'm going to pick out another one that hopefully is large enough and I can get everything done. And then I'm going to go back up the 3 beads again. Come on now. And then I'm going to miss the 80. I'm not going to go through the 80 just yet. So just like that. Now I'm going to go down the right hand side and go through these 10 seed beads. And then I'm going to go through the 8-0. I'm just going to make sure that the 8-0 is sitting correctly. I want it to sit like that. And then I'm going to go through the 10 beads on the left-hand side. And this also gets the second thread path through those 8-0s, because I like to have 2 thread paths through 8-0s, especially if I'm going to be using them as connectors. So I always like to try to have 2 thread paths. So that's part of the problem as to why some of the jump rings work, some of them don't, some of them get broken, so on and so forth. So now I'm going to go through that 8-0, and then I'm going to proceed back down through the 10 seed beads on the right. So the right hand side will have more thread paths through it than the left hand side, but that's fine, because it's really the 8-0s that we're going through. So now I'm caught up to where the starter thread is. So I'm going to make a knot over that 8-0 sitting there. So I'm going to tie these two together, and it's going to skip over that 8-0. So I don't want to go through that 8-0 a third time, especially with this much coating. So if you choose a color seed bead that is a lot less coating, then you probably don't have to worry about it so much as far as how many times you're going through it and everything. You may not break your bead as easily as what I was doing during the video recording. And I was like, you know what? I started getting frustrated with it. And when I start getting frustrated with something, I'm like, no, I'm just going to put it down. I'll come back to it. And I just went back through the 3 beads again to get myself away from the knot. But when I get frustrated with something, I put it down. I'm like, okay, I'll come back to it. And then I think I did the necklace after that. And after I got done with the recording of the necklace, I'm like, you know what? This is good enough. I'll just do this, and then I'll do the earrings in a live. And that's why I showed the earring during the video and then said, you know, stay tuned for Thursday. I'll have a live. And then I ended up having to cancel that live. Is what it is. But also, I don't know how many people were here at the very beginning for that too. The reasoning why I had to cancel that live, I had a little bit of a family emergency. And so we don't know the outcome of this just yet. I'm getting out some jump rings real quick. We don't know the outcome of that emergency just yet. It'll be a couple of weeks before we know anything. So just if you're one that says prayers, we would appreciate that. So, because we don't know exactly what's going on just yet. And we all know that that's never a fun place to be in medical-wise when you're kind of in limbo. All right, I'm trying to look for another pair of pliers that I don't have in my bag. And by the way, I love this Colleen. If you're watching the rerun, I love this bag. This was the bag that we got in Colleen's beads, that her collections that she released earlier in the year. That was one of the freebies that she sent along with it. Ouch. Then I pinched myself with my pliers. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, so now I'm going to try to get a jump ring through the 8-0. Look at that. Yes, it worked. Okay, 1 down, 1 to go. All right, almost there. And maybe. Can it go? Yes, it worked. Perfect. All right. So that is that. That's how I made this guy right here. And then I just attached 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links. I think on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So there should be 2 links of 5. And I just used, I think I got this at Michael's actually a long time ago. It's just chain from my stash. I just have a lot of it. And I thought, you know what, gold looks really good with this color scheme. So, because I think we got antique bronze. Yeah, we got the antique bronze color with as our findings, but I felt like the gold kind of went with it too. So I just picked out some chain from my stash and just kind of eyeballed it and said, okay, I kind of like that color or that length, that color. So I did that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that one is 5. And then this I just did, I took the heart that came with the kit and I just made a simple loop with a head pin. There's just a plain head pin there. And then this one has 7, I think. Or is it 5 again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's only 6 on this one. So there's 6 lengths on that one. Did I do 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I did. Okay. And then this one, I think, is the bigger one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, is that 6? I should have looked at this before I started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 6 links. Okay. All right. So what I did is I took the one that I did 2 of. So the 2, the counts on either side of that, I think were 7. 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh, my eyes jumped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's where I got the 7 from. So when you use 2 of the cathedral beads, then it's 7 seed beads on either side. But the 8 O's are added in the same way, and so are the jump rings, obviously. And then I added that to the heart portion. And see if I can do this without shaking too bad. Oh, because yeah, the shaking's, I have a bad shaking day today. It's kind of like that yesterday too. All right, and then we're gonna do, did I just go? Yeah, I went straight into another one. Okay, got it. And we're gonna add this length on this portion. And I'm just gonna kind of haphazardly just go ahead and kind of close it, and I'll close it better off screen. And then the 2 3s, 3 cathedral ones, they get the 5 lengths on either side. So I'm just going to do the same thing with these guys. And I'll come back and I'll close those off better once I can kind of get it closer to my face so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. And then now it is just assembly time. So I'm going to hold on to another one of my jump rings. I'm going to put one of the 3 cathedrals on first. Maybe. And then I'm going to put the heart in the center. And then another of the 3 cathedrals. Oh my gosh, there we go. Now can I make it? Yeah, I should be able to get the ear wire on right away too. So just figure out which side that you want the front, which actually it doesn't really matter because the beads will flop around a little bit. All right, so that is a whole lot of stuff in that one little itty bitty small 4mm jump ring. But it fits, it works, and like I said, I'll get that all looking a little bit better here when I can get everything working better in a little bit. So there is the pair of earrings. I'll put this down. I think you could see it better that way. And then you can always just stagger these 2. You can have the 2 be a little bit shorter up here at the top. You can put 2 3s. You can have the 2 3s, one of them be here shorter on this side, and then have another 3 that's sitting down here a little bit. So you have an angle going down like that. So it's another one of those things it's just a very simple, cute little bead woven portion. And then you just add jump rings to it, and you can stagger it and make it your own and everything. So it's just another one of those things. So with that, I'm missing a lot. Save the beads. Yes, I loved that. That collection was so cute. That would also make a cool bracelet. Yeah, it would. And that's actually what I originally thought that I was going to do with this, is do this as a bracelet and then just do as connections, all bead woven connections, just go through the 8 and then start your next one. But I didn't have enough of these left over because I knew I was going to use them on the necklace too. So it's one of those things. I was like, oh no. Hi, Dominique. Oh, Dominique, you just got in just in time. I am doing a $25 giveaway to my Etsy shop, and put in hashtag unwind to be entered in for that. And it'll be $25 in my Etsy shop. You can get anything out of there. I've got my jewelry that I make off of my videos. I've got my collections on there. I've got a couple of kits, things like that. And so yeah, if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and do that. Let me see if I can get anything to work outside of my camera here, because halfway through this, my front-facing camera decided to go down. So no signal. Perfect. Okay, so let me see. I'll get you back on my downward facing one. I'll just turn this off and turn it back on again. Maybe I'll get lucky. And then everybody can see me again. Maybe. All right. Cross your fingers. Nope. Terrific. All right. That's going to be fun. Okie dokies. So yeah. Alrighty, don't forget to like and heart. Yes, thank you, Jenny. Yes, please do. And if you are new, if anybody else is new in the area, if anybody else is new, then definitely say hi. Go ahead and subscribe. I do these YouTube lives every other week. I typically do them every other Thursday. So my next one will be 2 weeks from today. Today is the 13th, so the 27th. That'll be the next one. I had to do math in my head real quick. And then outside of that, we have, I think, 8 people that have entered in so far. So if you want to enter into the $25 gift card for my Etsy shop, then put in hashtag unwind, and I will do a drawing of that here soon. So let's see if I can remember how to share my screen. I think it's this one. Yes, I remembered. Yay! All right, and then I think once I share my screen, I think I'll be able to maybe play with my phone, and then that way you can kind of see me. I'll have to hold up my phone in front of me type thing. So, alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Yes. Allow. And this one. Okay, nothing's up to where you can't do that. All right, share screen. Uh-oh, did it work? Oh, yeah, I gotta add to stage. That's right. There we go. Alrighty, so here is the drawing. We'll see what happens. This is kind of cool. Why? Okay, I was like, okay, that's silly. Okay, good. Yay, Jenny! I was like, I thought it was going to end up on me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. All right, awesome, Jenny. So I will message you, and since we have a way of talking with each other, I will message you, and we'll go from there. And I'll give you the code that you can use in my shop, and you can get anything out of there. Oh my gosh! All right, so I'm holding up my phone, so hopefully. Yeah, you could see me off to the side. This is crazy. Okay, I have to hold up my phone in a weird way. All right. You're welcome, Jenny. You're welcome. So let me go back to this. And holy cow. Hello, everyone. All right, so it's really, really like hard to do this. So I'm going to say probably a goodbye pretty quick. But congrats, Jenny. This is going to be fun. But yeah, I'll message you. I'll give you the link and everything, let you know what it is, and enjoy. So I will be back in 2 weeks and I will get some more videos out. Just stay tuned and I'll see you then. So thank you, everybody. And I will see you next time to make a new artistic creation together.